What do you do with the Bitcoin besides it just gather value?
Real estate developers in New York City, they're not buying the real estate because they want to live in it.
But like most of the people who are buying assets at some point want to sell the assets at a profit.
That use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. We call them poor. Okay? Right? Like, the point is, if you have the superior asset, it's going up forever more. Forever.
Right, right, but we can all look Bitcoin sort of as
forever more. People that use fiat currency as a store of value, we call them poor. We call them poor. People that use fiat currency, we call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. We call them poor. There's a name for them. We call them poor. 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 Okay?
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right, so shout out to everyone who's in the building early. It's good to see each and every one of you. If you guys can hear me okay and everything looks and sounds good, please give me a thumbs up or a radiation emoji in the chat. If you cannot hear me or things are looking and sounding bad, please give me a thumbs down or an angry face, all right? While you guys are doing that, I'm going to shout out everybody who's in the building early, all right? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. What's good with the Brooklyn Queen? Mod Extraordinaire. Make sure you guys do exactly what she's saying right there, please. All right, shout out to my man Carlton Way. What's good with it, bro? We got Rosemary in the building. Shout out to Rosemary. We got Katsy in the house. And shout out to Tia. All right. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. AB with the off-rip ducats. With the off-rip ducats. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AB. AB said, Rob talking about crypto. White supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Facts. Rob talking about crypto, white supremacy. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all show my man AB Promotions some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man AB for always funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
And that's what's good, man. We kicking it off on the way to hitting that goal, man. Shout out to the goal. Throw some targets in the chat, all right? So we got to ask this question, right? The market is not reflecting the Bitcoin shortage and the TradFi investment into Bitcoin, right? And if you ask me, the wider cryptocurrency market is greatly undervalued, all right? In addition to being undervalued, there's also this issue of quote-unquote DeepSeek, all right? DeepSeek put a really hard body blow on American tech companies, all right? And finally, after 3 days, we're going to really get into it.
Was the week that DeepSeek roiled the markets. The Chinese AI startup caused a tech sell-off that sent NVIDIA shares down 11% on the week, Microsoft down 6%. But despite the threat it might represent, AI companies are surprisingly embracing that open source model now. Our Deirdre Bosa explains in today's Tech Check. Happy Friday, D.
Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention, right? When DeepSeek first came out, shout out to my man Detroit 313. What's good with you, bro? When DeepSeek first came out, it freaked everybody out. It was a massive sell-off in the market. If you were around for that massive sell-off and you kind of bought in on the dip, which is the idea, right? You probably made out pretty good. But this DeepSeek model, this DeepSeek AI model that is built off of a lot of the inputs of ChatGPT-3 is really scaring American investors and American tech companies, right? But now what's happening is that these American tech companies are embracing, all right? They're not embracing villainy like we do over here, but they're embracing the DeepSeek AI model. Pay attention.
Happy Friday. It's been a long one, Carl. Good morning. So there's really these dual narratives going on. While Wall Street and Washington, they're shuddering at the cost of DeepSeek's breakthrough and its geopolitical implications, tech is really full steam ahead on adopting and promoting the model. Now, at the core of this momentum is real excitement about the technological leap DeepSeek has made, higher performance with fewer resources. It's also because it's open source. So companies see it as both adaptable and scalable, making it an easy choice to integrate and build upon. Mark Zuckerberg praised its advancements on Meta's earnings call this week and said that he hopes to implement those advancements into their own systems. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy last night posting to X DeepSeek's integration with AWS and also promoting it with a casual have at it. NVIDIA is now offering DeepSeek for enterprises, calling it.
So I want you guys to pay very close attention, right? You guys see this Chinese AI model that was better than American AI models and cheaper came out, and look at what the American companies are doing with it. Now, let me ask you guys this question. The companies that are using DeepSeek, the DeepSeek model itself, how many people feel that that would be a great investment? If you guys think that that would be a great investment, give me a thumbs up. If you don't think that it would be a great investment, then give me a thumbs down.
A perfect example of test time scaling, and that is an AI system that can adapt and improve its performance on the fly, making it highly useful for AI applications. And on the same day, guys, that Microsoft began probing DeepSeek for improperly using OpenAI data, it also quietly made DeepSeek available on Azure, its cloud computing platform. On last night.
So you guys see what Microsoft did, right? Microsoft snitched right? Microsoft snitched, accused AI of being unethical, right? Accused AI of piracy, and then, accused DeepSeek of being unethical, accused DeepSeek of piracy, and then turned around and utilized DeepSeek on his own platform. You guys see that?
Using OpenAI data. It also quietly made DeepSeek available on Azure, its cloud computing platform.
You see that? It quietly did it. You know what I'm saying? Oh, DeepSeek is horrible. DeepSeek is this. Let's quietly integrate DeepSeek into our technology. I mean, when you can't make it up. You know what I'm saying? You can't make it up. Shout out to my man, John Guillory. Make sure you guys throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks, dogs, cats, and targets into the chat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. I appreciate you. My man, John Guillory said, what time is it? It's crypto time. What time is it? Crypto time. Shout out to Primetime Deion Sanders. Facts. What time is it? Crypto time. You know what I'm saying? Definitely appreciate it, bro. Make sure y'all show John Guillory some love for funding the organization, and he bought y'all lunch.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
In Springfield, eat the cat. Drop that cat.
Hey, shout out to John. Make sure y'all show John some love. Shout out to Katsy. Make sure y'all show Katsy some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Katsy. Katsy says, drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop them cats in the chat. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Katsy for funding the organization. Definitely appreciate it, Katsy. And she bought y'all some more lunch.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
In Springfield,
so don't push me, ain't Donald Trump trying to grab him by the... Said it was some Haitians, somewhere out in Springfield. Women doing cartwheels.
Have you seen Garfield?
Have you seen Snowball? This about to snowball. I'm about to go off. I can't let this go on. Miss me like an airball. Tell me when my cat is cough it up like a hairball. I gotta tell them if they even put the fingernail on Santa's little helper to turn them to hamburger helper. Somebody better help them, cause I'm going to jail for showing them fellas helter skelter.
My man DSB got to flex on everybody, man. You know what I'm saying? My man DSB got to style. My man DSB got a style on everybody, man. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks. Throw some nuclear ducks, nuclear flames in the chat. Some napalm for my man DSB for funding the organization. And y'all know what happened with the red. Y'all know what happened with the red. Let's go.
He going along with the Fox shit. Don't touch me. I'm about to change on your ass. I'll beat your ass with my elbows. Werewolf style.
I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken. Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mumra, the ever-living.
Silence. I ain't got no money, pop.
Cash rules everything around me. Queen, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, bitch.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Anybody know where he took with that? Cause I heard they putting claws on felines, I'm mad. And my cat disappeared just like Felix the cat. And they hit the cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the cat.
Microsoft began probing DeepSeek for improperly using OpenAI data. It also quietly made DeepSeek available on Azure, its cloud computing platform. On last night's Apple earnings call, Tim Cook paid DeepSeek a compliment too, saying that its models represent innovation that drives efficiency. And that, guys, raises the question, as Apple looks for an AI partner in China, could DeepSeek be it? Now, this isn't limited to just AI companies. I spoke to a founder of an AI infrastructure startup, Base 10, Tuhin Srivastava. He said that he's heard from nearly 2,000 Fortune 100 companies this week. Not only do they want to run DeepSeek's models, but it's changed their entire view on licensing AI.
So you guys see this, right? Let me ask you guys this question. How many people would agree that DeepSeek is a disruptive AI technology? If you guys would agree, DeepSeek is a disruptive AI technology, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree and you don't think that DeepSeek is a disruptive AI technology, then give me a thumbs down. Why am I asking that? I'm asking that because of this. When it comes to disruptive technologies, are disruptive technologies good future perspective investments? If they are, let me know. If they are not, also let me know.
They're questioning the premium that they have been paying for OpenAI in Azure and Claude in AWS, which does bring us to OpenAI. With O3 expected soon, this is their next, big model, reasoning model. The pressure is on. The big question that the market, that developers, users are going to want to know is, can it deliver enough of a performance jump to justify its premium pricing, or has DeepSeek rewired the entire market, pushing even the biggest AI customers to expect more for less? And that is certainly where this.
Now, I'm going to tell you guys something, right? And this is my prediction as far as AI goes. If you ask me, AI is technology. For the most part, technology is bound by trends and is bound by patterns. Patterns may look different, but fundamentally, they follow very similar rules and follow very similar behaviors. It is my belief that initially creating AI systems will be big, bulky, and expensive, right? However, the same way Moore's law predicts that transistors will decrease by half in size and double in strength, I don't believe that the doubling pattern is going to continue with AI. I believe that when it comes to AI, as time increases, AI will be exponentially more powerful and exponentially or logarithmically less expensive to create and smaller and require smaller component parts. Now, it's going to operate on the same type of trajectory as far as following a rule of growth and shrinkage, but it's not going to use the linear double and half. It's going to logarithmically decrease and exponentially increase in strength, and it's going to logarithmically decrease in size and in price. And with the time frame of artificial intelligence, these things are going to happen very quickly. It's not going to be a long period of time like how it is with traditional analog and digital transistors. This is going to happen very quickly, probably within 3 to 6 months periods. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Jada Informant. What's good with it, bro? And shout out to Karen. Yo, if you guys haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media. So because there's going to be these quick jumps in AI and these quick evolutions in capability, what's going to have to happen is that there's going to have to be these companies that utilize just-in-time efficiency models. And they're also going to have to be constantly innovating. And if I was them, I would make technology that builds on itself instead of making technology that's got to be disposed of and completely replaced. Because if technology is becoming adaptable, right? If it's becoming adaptable, then what you need to be able to do is you need to be able to not waste all of that expense that you created in the first models, and you need to make the models to where people can either upload software or add a couple component parts and get it up to date. Imagine if every time there was an Apple software update, you had to buy a new iPhone. Nobody would do it, right? Nobody's going to do that with artificial intelligence at the prices that it is currently. They're going to have to make it cheap, and they're going to have to make it easily adoptable for sudden bursts of technological advancement. Companies that are able to do that will be the companies that will thrive. Companies that are not able to do that will be the companies that will not survive. You know what I'm saying?
This week has trended.
That's definitely going to be the new wrinkle in the conversation, D, whether or not it's commoditized across the board or whether there's still room for premium products. Yeah.
I think this has sort of been the nail in the commoditization network. I mean, DeepSeek was able to essentially replicate, outperform in some cases, our most advanced models. So that is leading many to wonder, do we need to pay for closed source APIs, or can we go directly to the frontier through a DeepSeek or through a number of other models that are doing very similar things at less of the cost?
All right, so there's that. All right, so now next what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at this report here. All right, and this report here is talking about NVIDIA. All right. So now, shout out to the people that mess with NVIDIA, right? They're talking about the quote unquote deafening silence on NVIDIA. Now, let me ask you guys this question. Why is NVIDIA so quiet? What's going on with NVIDIA? Why they so quiet? Why they not saying too much? A lot of people ain't saying too much, right? And so we got to ask the question, why so quiet? Let's see why. And shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
We're lucky because Jim Cramer was listening, and he did come down
to
join us on the set.
I always listen.
And I'm glad we had a chair here for you, because I really feel like this is one of those conversations after one of these pivotal weeks that we need to hear from you. What do you make, first of all, of Steve's assessment that, look, a lot of these stocks were punished too much, that they still have an overwhelmingly large competitive advantage?
So, again, when he talks about the stocks being punished too much, the market reacted to the information about DeepSeek. The market reacted to the information about DeepSeek because it says, look at all these American companies that are supposed to be superior, and a Chinese hedge fund created this open AI software, allegedly, right, with allegedly less resources, that's allegedly far more powerful than the American models. If a Chinese hedge fund is doing that and it's outpacing American companies, what does that say about the valuation of that company? Let me know what you guys think. This is the logic behind the market crash.
And now's the time. You might not time it perfectly, but why not today?
Okay, look, I think the problem is you can never pretend that you know when you don't know. And it's always gutsy to come out and say, listen, I don't know. I mean, look, right now, Jensen wants with the president. I would like to hear what he has to say. And we need, if you're long this stock, you need to hear that the president wants to undo what Biden did right at the end, which is to say, listen, we're only going to let them sell a lot to 18 friendly countries, which, by the way, they left off some major countries like Israel, which is supposed to be a friend as far as I know. I listened to Alex Karp earlier and say definitely, but lots of other countries that are in the EU. So we need to hear that reversed. You need to hear that the president doesn't fear that chips are going to go to China of the lower level. Remember, they were giving lesser chips to China, and that NVIDIA has been able to convince him that there is no backdoor from Singapore. There isn't, because I think that they are able to account for all those. So let's go back to, and by the way, I know that Jensen Wong.
So now here's my question, right? Again, during the dip, when the United States stock market, the tech companies, NASDAQ and New York Stock Exchange got hit, right? Shout out to my man, AB Promotions, with that two-piece in a biscuit. How many people were able to take advantage of going in on that dip and scooping a little something out for themselves? If you went in on that dip and scooped a little something out for yourselves, let me know. Because everything got hit. MicroStrategies got hit. Everything got hit. You know what I'm saying?
Hates Moore's Law, thinks it's dead. But I think the biggest issue is we got through the hurdle of Meta saying they need it. We know that Oracle needs it without a problem.
Now, again, all right, I want you guys to see here. He mentions Moore's Law. Right? I repeatedly, over the life of my channel, have repeatedly mentioned Moore's Law. Right? Now, I'm going to ask you guys, and I just mentioned Moore's Law a second ago. What is Moore's Law? What does Moore's Law do? What is Moore's Law a model of? Shout out to Detroit 313. Detroit 313 said even Tesla got hit. Facts. Shout out to Cassie. Cassie said, I went in on the oil dip. I'm not mad at it. Now, there's been some interesting developments with Tesla, right? We're gonna talk about the interesting developments that have been going on with Tesla, right? Because we briefly went over it when we were talking about MicroStrategies, but FASB, the Financial Accounting Board standards, has come out with new accounting methods to list Bitcoin on a balance sheet. All right. Now, what is the classification of how you can list Bitcoin on a balance sheet? And what is the subsequent forms after a balance sheet? You have the income statement, right? Then you have the cash flow statement, right? So whatever is on the balance sheet, they have to be represented on all of the other accounting sheets. They got to be represented on the cash flow statement. They got to be represented on the income statement, right? How is Bitcoin now represented? There's two sides of a balance sheet. What's the two sides of a balance sheet? How many people know the two sides of a balance sheet? There's one side and then there's the other side. And the balance sheet, both sides of the balance sheet, when you add them together, is supposed to equal 0. That means that it's balanced, right? Like a scale, right? 180 degrees parallel to the ground, right? So what are the two sides of a balance sheet? Let me know in the chat.
I would say definitely, but lots of other countries that are in the EU. So we need to hear that reversed. You need to hear that the president doesn't fear that chips are going to go to China at the lower level. Remember, they were giving lesser chips to China, and that NVIDIA is able to convince him that.
Shout out to Katsy. Katsy says expenses versus income. That is actually the format of the income statement. Revenue minus expenses equals net income. That's actually the format of the income statement. What are the two sides of the balance sheet? Two sides of the balance sheet.
There is no backdoor from Singapore. There isn't, because I think that they are able to account for all those. So let's go back to, and by the way, I know that Jensen Huang hates Moore's Law, thinks it's dead. But I think the biggest issue is you got through the hurdle of.
See, so now it says, we know that Jensen Huang hates Moore's Law. And now here's the thing, right? They're saying that Moore's Law is dead. I would not say that Moore's Law is dead. I would say that it needs to be updated for the changes in the technology. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's dead. I would say that it's a good presumptive model on the advancement of technology. However, because technology is now operating in different ways, there's certain things about it that needs to be tweaked. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's dead. And honestly, I think that Moore's Law still shows a pretty good estimate of the trajectory of how technology advances and progresses, right? So what are the two sides of a balance sheet, ladies and gentlemen? Shout out to everybody watching. If you guys haven't hit that like button, do me a favor, take a moment, hit that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit the bell. And also, please share the stream to your social media.
Saying they need it. We know that Oracle needs it without a problem. We absolutely got that. We know that Apple wants anything it can get, and they're a free rider. They'll be good. But we know that Microsoft needs more. But what we don't know is Amazon. And next week, Amazon, what happens if Amazon says, it plays hardball and says, you know what, we don't need as many.
Shout out to Katsy. Katsy said, damn it, I'm embarrassed. I come from a family of accountants and I know nothing about money except don't spend more than you have. That's all you need, right? That's all you need. And most people can't even handle that. So you already ahead and doing better than most.
Then you have this plummet, and I am concerned about that. Otherwise, look, I think that T.F.T.C's playing checkers, and these guys are playing grandmaster chess. It just, you know, you cannot use. By the way, the reliability of DeepSeek is ridiculous. I don't know why anyone thinks it's any good. We were doing some stuff putting in Winston in 1984, and first it was talking about how it was told to dissemble in favor of the government, and then it took that right away. But I will say, look, what can DeepSeek not do that Jensen knows that NVIDIA can do? Multimodal memory, spatial intelligence, physical actuators, vision, and touch. So you can't use it for robots and you can't use it for self-drive. So what the hell good is it?
What the hell good it is? For one, it has a huge advantage being that it's open source, meaning that anybody can grab it, anybody can manipulate it, anybody can upgrade it, anybody can customize it. That is huge. Finally, you know what I'm saying? Finally, man, listen, thank goodness I didn't hold my breath waiting. Let me ask y'all this question. What would have happened to me if I had held my breath waiting?
You cheated! I'm going to tell on you!
Facts. Shout out to John. Assets and liabilities. Facts. Assets and liabilities. Those are the two sides of a balance sheet. You know what I'm saying? So Where do you all think that the new financial accounting standards place Bitcoin on a balance sheet? Katsy was cheating. Flag on the play.
What kind of shit is that?
Katsy was down there cheating.
Just like a woman. That's because some of you niggas, you be acting just like a woman. Nigga, Reaper keep at 1,000.
Where's Bitcoin at now? Where do the accounting standards place Bitcoin at on a business's balance sheet? Let me know in the chat.
So anyway, it's good and bad, but boy, do I ever want to hear from Amazon.
Yeah.
I want to hear from Google too before I.
Yeah, facts. Shout out to AB. Assets. If you guys agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Just say, hey, you know what? We're home free.
So is it then overstating it to say that they have, NVIDIA being the they, have gone from in the driver's seat to on the defensive? I suppose both can be true. I mean, they are still in the driver's seat. Look, we didn't even mention OpenAI, the fact that they're doing this huge raise at such an incredible valuation. Where are they going to go with the money to buy what they need? Probably NVIDIA.
Right. Well, absolutely. You go to NVIDIA. I think that I used to work very close with Stephanie, and we would say, well, you know, when someone doesn't have anything to say, you can't necessarily attribute that it's good. And there are many things you can say, and we've all had many different guests.
Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention to how people react to the market, right? Because if you ask me, there's always an inappropriate reaction to the market, right? There's always an extremely inappropriate reaction to the market. Just because DeepSeek came out with this model, let me ask you guys this. How does that endanger the rest of NVIDIA's business model? Let's just say, for instance, DeepSeek has come out with this product. The DeepSeek product is superior, right? It's better than the AI products offered by all these different businesses. Is that enough to shut NVIDIA down? Is that enough to make NVIDIA not a world-class company? My question is, if it's not enough to significantly damage NVIDIA's business model, why would everybody sell all their shares and tank the stock price? Why would they do that? And this is what I'm saying. Do you guys see how illogical people can be when it comes to making these decisions? A lot of people make frightened, knee-jerk decisions that really have a negative effect on the market. However, you got to be able to understand investor psychology so you could capitalize on a lot of mistakes like a lot of these people do. What these people did was create a deep discount that many people could take advantage of by swooping in and getting the dips on these highly valued stocks and assets. And then these things affect other markets. There was a residual ripple that put the cryptocurrency market into the tank for absolutely no reason, right? And, you know, you'll be able to take advantage of those dips in the cryptocurrency market as well, right? Shout out to my man, DSB. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure you guys show DSB some love for funding the organization, growing the organization, and standing on business. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
So here's my question. When it comes to a lot of the information that we get in the mainstream media about the markets, where does this information come from? Why are people making these decisions that they make? Do a lot of the market movements that you see make sense? Let me ask you guys this question. Does a $100,000 Bitcoin make sense? If you ask me, a $100,000 Bitcoin doesn't make sense. I don't feel that a $100,000 Bitcoin makes sense. Now, here's my question. How many of you all feel that a $100,000 Bitcoin makes sense? If you guys think that a $100,000 Bitcoin makes sense, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't, then give me a thumbs down. And I want to know your reasoning for why you feel it does or doesn't. And then once you guys give your reasoning, I'll give you mine.
We're in quiet period. and they didn't reveal the numbers, but they gave you a sense of what's going on. Alex Karp, this quiet period, he's reporting on Monday, and he just did this incredibly long interview with Sarah. And you can say, well, if he can talk like that and talk about broader themes of Palantir, well, then Jensen.
Shout out to my man John Gillard. Yo, and we're over the goal. Shout out to y'all for hitting the goal early, man. We had 3 hours. You know what I'm saying? And we're already over the goal in 42 minutes. Shout out to y'all, man. Throw some flames in the chat for y'all. I appreciate y'all very much. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John. John says, shout out to China for helping me get more shares of NVIDIA and MicroStrategies and more Bitcoin and other crypto. Facts. Shout out to the FOMO. where AB Promotions at? Shout out to the FOMO Sakis out there. We appreciate y'all. And y'all are over the goal. And you know what that means when you're over the goal. Double drops. Shout out to y'all, man. I appreciate you.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Look, hey, shout out to John. John said, I heard you in the chat. I'm just being petty. That's an inside joke. John know what I'm talking about. Heard you in the chat talking all that shit. I'm just being petty. Heard what you said. DSB Super Chat read. Talking that cryptocurrency. A lot of this shit go over their head. We just being petty. The one MLG. The one MLG got to beat TC just being petty. We call it fiat. We call it y'all poor. We just being petty. Because we just being petty. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man John. John, know. If you know, you know. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, you don't.
Should be able to talk about it in a situation where obviously his stock has had a material move.
So you're saying this, the silence is deafening to
I think
you.
silence is not
now, maybe Jensen Huang uses the appearance of the White House today. As I said, I mean, obviously in these circumstances, there are cameras there. We're going to have a stakeout camera. Right. And maybe he comes to the camera and he addresses.
Facts. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said Bitcoin should be double. Facts. If you guys agree with AB, give me a thumbs up. If y'all disagree with AB, give me a thumbs down. Now, here's my question, right? Why? Why do you feel that Bitcoin should be doubled? Anybody who gave a price more value, a higher price than the current price, I would have agreed with you. So if you say Bitcoin should be doubled, which double will be around $215,000 or $210,000, I would agree with you. If you said 500,000, I'd agree with you. If you said 750,000, I'd agree with you. If you said 300,000, I'd agree with you. Right? Now, but here's the question though. Why? Right? Because when you just throw out numbers and say, I told you, it doesn't help. Right? It doesn't make sense. So here's the why, right? For me, right? Because everybody's, perception of price valuation and everybody's future projected prices may be somewhat different, right? So before we do that, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man DSB for making me have a near heart attack. You know what I'm saying? Make sure y'all show DSB some big love. DSB has super chatted outside of the rewards that I have to offer people for for channel support. So you know what I'm saying, like shout out to my man DSB. You know what I'm saying, like DSB just, you know what I'm saying, he just made himself an honorary board member, which he had been made himself an honorary board member like about 2 years ago. So you know what I'm saying, but there's that, right? But we just got to reiterate it. You know what I'm saying? DSB definitely has his BLR ownership plaque, you know what I'm saying, sitting up there on the desk. So shout out to DSB. My man DSB said we double over the goal. Facts. 2x the goal. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from my man DSB. And y'all already know DSB finna get all the drops.
Ancient spirits of evil, transform this decayed form to Mum-Ra, the ever-living!
Silence. I ain't got no money, punk.
Yo, I want to interrupt the drops real quick, and then we'll get back to them, right? Now, check this out, right? I want to throw a proposal for a financial product, right? How many people could imagine a secured credit card for people with bad credit where the security on the credit card is an amount of Bitcoin? So you would get a Visa or a MasterCard. That's a secured MasterCard to help you build credit. And your secured credit card would be backed by 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, $1,000 of your own Bitcoin. So as you pay off your credit card, right, you would pay off the credit card, you would pay it in cash. You take that cash would then be custodied and taken and paid for Bitcoin with, and then put back into your credit card balance for you to be able to use again. Imagine a product like that. We'd be the first people with that product. You know what I'm saying? All right, back to the drops. Let me know what you guys think.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
Get the money, y'all. There's poor people around.
I'm rich, bitch!
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
I am the rocks of the eternal shore. Crash against me and be broken!
Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat.
Drop that cat.
Can't say enough how much I appreciate you, bro. And shout out to AB Promotions. Facts. AB Promotions said, DSB, my brother DSB makes his people great. He's his brother's keeper, great Hebrew brother. Facts. Make sure y'all show AB some love for that factual assessment of my man DSB. Definitely appreciate you, bro. Definitely appreciate you. So I think that would be a great product, right? A product where you have a secure credit card, where the security of your credit card is backed by Bitcoin, right? Now, what would happen is you would pay off your monthly payment. The monthly payment would be then applied to the balance, and the monthly payment would be taken to buy Bitcoin with and put back into your Bitcoin balance. So your balance would show two different numbers. The first number that your balance would show a Bitcoin number, and then it would also show a dollar denomination. And of course, that balance would fluctuate according to how much Bitcoin you've spent, right? Now, when you spend the money, right, the spending would only be subtracted from the Bitcoin, and you would have to pay the dollar value, right? So what could possibly end up happening is that your credit card balance or your credit card limit would grow naturally as Bitcoin grows, or the credit card limit could shrink naturally as Bitcoin shrinks, right? However, your repayment of your credit card would go into Bitcoin accumulation that would be reflected in your available credit. Imagine the type of credit and liquidity that would provide people, especially people that don't have really good credit. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something to think about, because here's the thing, right? The same way I just came up with that, somebody's going to actually bring it from protocol to market. And then they'll be hailed as great. You know what I'm saying? Now, mind you, nobody's come up with a product suggestion like that. No one actually has a product like that. But I'm telling you, especially with the DeFi revolution that's going to come later on this year, a product like that will definitely come. And when people see, oh, well, the credit limit on this is going to grow naturally without me having to apply for a new coin.
That's just some of the questions from our producer or reporter who might be on site. We'll have to wait and see. But you own the Amazons of the world that Jim wants to hear from, and you're going to hear next week from that company?
Yeah, I think they're going to spend more money. By the way, Jim, OpenAI, the rumor is they're actually going to use Broadcom's custom.
Well, that's the custom chips, but Broadcom's going up.
Right, so they'll use both.
Well, and we know, by the way, that Amazon likes custom because it's cheaper.
That's right.
I know that Meta does everything. There's Hock Tan's on the board of Meta, and he's the CEO of the.
Stop spending. Though.
No,
I mean,
no, but I'm just saying.
Maybe a little less than what they were going to, but I can't imagine that they would to keep. They have to keep up with the rest of the industry to be leaders.
Oh, they have to spend. I'm just saying, what happens if they're caged?
Yeah.
Right here, he's clearly biased towards NVIDIA. Clearly biased towards NVIDIA. You can see the bias is just oozing out of his pores.
But I do say that this is a thicket. I'd like to hear that even if Amazon walked away, we don't know. Remember that demand was insane and demand was crazy? I just want to hear that.
That's right, and that's what Jensen said.
I want to hear it again. Is that too big? Is that too much to ask?
I think that was at the Communicopia conference out in San Francisco.
It does have a huge, there's this huge conference in March. But look, am I nervous? If you're not nervous and a stock has that kind of move, I don't know if you're a good manager.
And what do you make of the move from Jim to trim some of his position? Because he's admittedly a little nervous about where we are.
Remember, that's what we do.
But bear in mind, it's, you take NVIDIA, I don't have to tell you this, it's up threefold in 15 months. I'd be a fool not to. Give me a second here.
No, I'm saying this is why you're a manager.
Exactly, it's risk management. But can I just point something out that I think is important? NVIDIA, Microsoft, they don't exist in a vacuum. You started, Scott, your first question was, does the market have jitters? And I said only a sector does. Look, Microsoft, and I want your opinion on this, Microsoft and NVIDIA are down on the year. The market, S&P 500 is up. Is it possible, Jimmy, that maybe the market broadening can happen without a disaster, right? Because everybody says that concentration of the top 10 names, it usually comes down with the market having a wipeout. Is it possible that maybe we get the broadening without an overall disaster?
I had an existential crisis this week. I said to my wife, I believe I missed a 10-bagger in Britain.
Facts. I got to agree. Shout out to my man, AB Promotions. AB Promotions says, great idea, Rob, but these kids are only thinking about how they feel, even when you advise them how to get ahead. Facts. If you guys agree with AB Promotions, give me a thumbs up. If you guys disagree with AB Promotions, give me a thumbs down. That's facts. That's facts. All right. So honestly, I don't think we need to look at the rest of this, right? Because for the most part, they're just having a debate about these market conditions, right? We're gonna go back to DeepSeek, right? But I want to make sure that I get a couple things in before we talk about DeepSeek. All right. Let me see something real quick. Hold on. Wait a minute. Grayscale launch it. Hold on. Let me see something. I thought I had this. I'm about to get irritated. But to get here it is. Okay, yeah, this is what I was looking for. Okay. Now, how many people heard about this? How many people heard about this? You guys are about to die laughing when y'all see this. Elon Musk's father hopes to raise $200 million from meme coin he now endorses. If you guys heard about this, give me a thumbs up. If you guys didn't hear about this, give me a thumbs down. Now, I want you guys to answer this question for me, right? What is Elon Musk's father's net worth? How much money does Elon Musk's father have? Let me know how much money Elon Musk's father has, all right? Elon Musk's father hopes to raise $200 million from meme coin he now endorses, all right? Elon Musk's father hopes to raise between 150 million and 200 million from a meme coin project called Musket. Get it? Like the gun? Which launched quietly in December to little fanfare. All right. Errol Musk is his name. So anybody that's looking up how much Elon Musk's dad is worth, here's his name, Errol, E-R-R-O-L, Musk, told Fortune he is now prepared to publicly endorse the token, which has gained over 200% in the last 24 hours. All right, so let me ask you guys this question. Has anybody seen this token called Musket? Is it available anywhere? Where is it available at? Shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure said cryptocurrency is a joke. So is low blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? so is low blood pressure. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why you would name yourself something that implies that there's something physically wrong with you, but you did. You know what I'm saying? But you did. So there's that, right? In the wake of President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump's recent official token launches, Elon Musk's father, Earl Musk, is the latest to jump on the meme coin bandwagon. All right. In an interview with Fortune, Elon Musk and his business partner, tech consultant Nathan Brown. All right. Now, somebody check up on Nathan Brown, see how much money he's working with. Said they hoped to raise between 150 million and 200 million from a meme coin project called Musket. Now, let me ask you guys this question. What do they plan on doing with this 150 million and 200 million dollars? What do they plan on doing? What do you guys think the goal of this money is going to be? What kind of projects are they going to invest that money into? Elon Musk, who reportedly has a strained relationship with his billionaire son and other family members, which is wild, is the son of a military cryptographer who studied electromechanics before working as an engineer and a property developer, building office space and retail centers. All right. He also pursued a career in politics, serving on Pretoria's city council, and acquired rights to emerald mines in Zambia. How do you, quote unquote, acquire rights to a mine that doesn't belong to you? How does that happen? How does that happen? Now, I want you guys to pay very close attention to low blood pressure, right? Because low blood pressure is something that's very easily manageable, right? Very easily manageable. You can actually look up on WebMD how to deal with a nuisance like this, right? My question for low blood pressure is, if crypto is a joke, how come everybody's only laughing at you? Now, this is what I told you guys about yesterday. You got 13 people in here. Don't forget that. I got $300 in super chat on the board that you can't turn your face away from. Don't you forget that. Okay? Let me also tell you something. You see these numbers here? 200, 100. Your low blood pressure will never reach those. And I'm curious. I'm just curious. Does your significant other in your life make you take Viagra for your low blood pressure problem? Because you know what low blood pressure causes, don't you? You know what low blood pressure causes, don't you? It causes wet noodle syndrome. So again, you know, strange flex, right? Strange choice of name. But like traditional low blood pressure, very easy to manage. Very easy to manage. Shout out to you, bro, for your ease of access. You know what I'm saying? We appreciate you. I'm the head of the family, Elon Musk told Fortune. It really started with me and our family. I've been, quote unquote, musking it for years, he said, adding that he intends to use the proceeds to fund the Musk Institute, a new for-profit think tank establishing to pursue his own scientific interests, including flying vehicles. All right. So again, I want you guys to pay very close attention. Do you see what he's doing? So he's basically raising money to invest in a think tank that comes up with prototypes and models for, quote unquote, future technology, all funded by an illegal diamond mine or an illegal emerald mine that he stole. Shout out to my man, Black Free Thinker. Absolutely. Make sure y'all do it. Mod Extraordinaire Black Free Thinker said, please leave a like on both streams. Maybe it'll help us get more than 13 people in here. But let me ask you this question. Will it help you have more than $300 of super chats sitting there on your board? That's the question. That's the question. That's the question. Yeah, shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions said, Black Light said he's a cuck. Yeah, he's floppy. You know what I'm saying? And his girl is probably sloppy. Shout out to low blood pressure. Low blood pressure said, thanks. You put me in my place. I'll go take the blue pill. Listen, go get your tall glass of water. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you drink a lot of water. Drinking a lot of water will get that low blood pressure together for you. You know what I'm saying? Come back when your systolic is over 120 and we'll be all right. We'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about it. You know what I'm saying, if you really want to fix that low blood pressure, you know what I'm saying, just blindly invest in something and then, you know what I'm saying, stare at it as the price goes down. That'll definitely fix that low blood pressure temporarily. Oh man, it's wild, man. It's wild. However, Earl Musk and Brown did not create the Musket coin, which was quietly launched, look at this, by a Middle Eastern-based crypto company in December, the outlet reported. So I want you guys to see what happened here, right? So basically, this Middle Eastern-based crypto company launched this cryptocurrency. I want you guys to understand, when it comes to cryptocurrency, when it comes to meme coins, when it comes to NFTs, there's going to be a whole level of hijacking that people have never seen before. Everybody talks about how things get hijacked nowadays. Man, wait till people start normalizing how to create meme coins and start normalizing how to create NFTs. Man, listen, man, it's not going to be enough content creators to address the outrage. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Universe Galaxy. The Universe Galaxy said, "Hey, can I join the panel then?" What panel? You know what I'm saying? I don't. Where's their panel? Now I'll tell you what. What day is that going to be? I'm going to try to do a stream with a panel Saturday. I'm going to try to do a stream with a panel on Saturday, and it's going to be like probably after AB Promotions bedtime. You know what I'm saying? It's probably going to be like around, midnight, 12:55 a.m. You know what I'm saying? My favorite time. But ain't no panel today. Sorry to disappoint. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man, Black Free Thinker. Yo, I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show Black Free Thinker some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from my man, Black Free Thinker. Black Free Thinker says, sounds like the value chain at work, starting with the family. Am I right? If not, let's have lunch. Big facts. Make sure y'all show Black Free Thinker some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat from my man, Black Free Thinker, for funding the organization, and he bought y'all lunch. We got to put some extra salt on it so low blood pressure could get that blood pressure up. We can't have nobody passing out in the chat. He probably turned all pale and pallorous down there. We can't have that. His lips all blue. You know what I'm saying? We can't have him down there looking like a Smurf about to pass out. We got to get something up in him. You know what I'm saying?
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
In Springfield, they're eating.
That came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat. Eat the cat. They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
Shout out to you, bro. Shout out to you, bro. Look, I was going to say something bad, but never mind. Glad I can give you valuable content. You have given me valuable content. How do you feel about Texas creating a strategic Bitcoin reserve? That's my question for you. I heard Corpus Christi is nice too. If I'm not mistaken, it's pretty close to Galveston. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, your state, you know what I'm saying? They going head first into Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? So there's that, right? So now here it says, instead, Elon Musk explained that they approved the name and chose to collaborate on the token after conceiving the idea for the Musk Institute last year. Now, let me ask you guys this question. How many people think that it would be a good idea for us to put together some type of future industries consortium, right? And have a think tank that actually operates as a dual market analysis firm that investigates the environment and looks for threats and opportunities of where businesses can be capitalized on for maximum revenue potential. If you guys think that would be a good idea, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't think that that's a good idea, then give me a thumbs down. Shout out to my man, DC Precise. What's good with it, bro? Elon Musk told Fortune he is now prepared to publicly endorse the Solana-based, there you go, Pump.fund launched Musket token. This token will probably at some point be on some other exchanges. However, there remains very little public information about the project's tokenomics aside from its 1 billion total and circulating supply, and he seemed somewhat in the dark on the details too. Meanwhile, Brown reportedly said that a condition for joining the project was that this cannot be a pump and dump. The Musket token has persistently fallen in value since its launch on December 9th, but skyrocketed from 1 cent to 7 cents. So that's a 7x increase following Elon Musk's endorsement on Thursday before retracing. The meme coin is currently trading at 0.035 cents, according to CoinGecko, with a market cap of 35 million. So if you had bought the coin at 1 million, it went up 7x, right? It retraced minus 4x, right? And so now, or actually minus 3.5x. So you still would have made what was that, 3.5x profit? I guess that's not bad. I guess. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure says, I think gold bullion depository is great. I think Bitcoin is a speculative asset, but that's it. Not a great savings vehicle, but neither are stocks and bonds. I think I think that's a fair assessment. I don't have a problem with that assessment. Now, here's my thing. Do you feel that being a speculatory investment or a speculative asset should disqualify you from an investment strategy? That's my question. Because I don't disagree with anything that you said. I don't have a problem with gold depository. I think that, the assets should be diversified. I wouldn't disagree. I wouldn't disagree and say that Bitcoin is not a speculative asset. I would say that Bitcoin is absolutely speculative. But my thing is, are those disqualifiers from being from being in an asset reserve? I don't know if a characteristics listing is enough to disqualify something from being a viable investment or a viable asset. These are just characteristics. And some of these characteristics also apply to assets that are looked at as not speculative, right? Let me ask you this question. Most assets mutually exclusive to Bitcoin, how can it then be a disqualifier from why somebody should or shouldn't hold it in a strategic reserve? That's my question. And that's not just for low blood pressure. Anybody can address that question if they want to. I think it's, I'm saying, I think it's a good question. I'm saying. Shout out to everybody watching. I appreciate you guys. If you all haven't smashed the like button yet, please do me a favor. Take a moment, smash that like button. Also, if you guys haven't hit the bell, please take a moment, hit that bell, and also please share the stream to your social media. All right. So now here says, while Elon Musk claimed he had recently spoken to his famous son about the project earlier this month, he emphasized Elon Musk had nothing to do with it. However, the project's website heavily draws on Elon Musk's endeavors, depicting a Mars-based scene with the SpaceX rocket and a Tesla Cybertruck, adding that the Mars Musket base is opening soon. All right. Elon Musk and President Trump's meme coin advocacy. So we all know about Elon Musk and President Trump's meme coin advocacy. Now, shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure says the problem is the currency, our monetary system. When the assets go up, it's the dollar going down. So, yeah, I would actually modify that statement and say the assets are not moving, right? And the dollar is depreciating. Right? I would be a little bit more technically specific and say that. And so now, let's deal with this, right? So based on your statement, what do you have against Bitcoin? You know what I'm saying? So now here, shout out to Low Blood Pressure again. Low Blood Pressure says Bitcoin reserve problem is extreme volatility. Now, again, let's deal with this quote unquote extreme volatility. What is the beta coefficient of Bitcoin? That's the first question, right? Because that's the standardized volatility measurement, right? Second question is, you need volatility to be able to outpace inflation, because what non-volatile asset accelerates faster than inflation? Then now here you say crypto has no intrinsic value. That's a false statement, right? The reason why that's a false statement is because every piece of whatever crypto you own, you either own a part of the network that cryptocurrency is built on, which is a physical asset. You can actually touch, taste, see, and smell parts of the Bitcoin network, which is something that you own if you own Bitcoin, or the Ethereum network if you own Ethereum, right? Now, there's some cryptocurrencies that have no intrinsic value, and they'll literally be listed, and on their white sheet, it'll say this cryptocurrency has no intrinsic value. But a cryptocurrency that does have intrinsic value, which is part of a network ownership or part of, say, in the protocol, this is misinformation saying that the crypto has no intrinsic value. Now, shout out to AB Promotions, and AB Promotions says, and the dollar does. Now, you want to talk about Bitcoin in the extreme volatility. How many times has the dollar been devalued? How many times has the interest rate been cut on the dollar? How many times has the dollar had more money printed? I'm going to ask the same questions about Bitcoin. How many times has Bitcoin had a rate cut? Who's cutting the rate on Bitcoin? How many times have there been, quote unquote, more Bitcoin printed? How many times has there been a run on Bitcoin wallets? Bitcoin has been devalued and crashed economies all over the place. How many times have all these things happened? Now, Bitcoin is looked at as the speculative asset, and there's no evidence of Bitcoin crashing any economies anywhere. There's multiple examples of balance of payments crisis and hyperinflation and bank runs in multiple economies that use fiat currency. So my question is, with all of the evidence of bank runs, all of the evidence of hyperinflation, all of the evidence of balance of payment crisis, that would tell me that fiat currencies and the systems that back fiat currencies are highly speculative, because those extreme things could occur. And there's evidence of those things happening, right? They've happened all throughout the world. Where's the evidence of those things happening with Bitcoin? Where's the evidence of those things happening with Bitcoin? And I think it's interesting how you have the Reacts how you had the Reacts logo as your profile picture. You know what I'm saying? That's interesting. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here nor there, right? But I mean, what do you guys think about that? I think that these are, common critiques. I don't know if I would go as far as to say fair critiques. Now, when you say Bitcoin crash over and over, I don't ignore Bitcoin crashing over and over. Everything crashes over and over, right? Where is Bitcoin now? Why did Bitcoin crash? Did Bitcoin crash as a result of any of the control factors that I mentioned earlier? No, it didn't. We asked this question, right? Did anybody print more Bitcoin to keep up with decreasing Bitcoin value against other assets? No, that's never happened in history, right? Has there ever been hyperinflation levied against Bitcoin? No, it's never happened. Nobody's ever voted on that for a protocol on the network either. As far as Bitcoin crashing goes, Bitcoin crashes the same way anything crashes that's subject to macroeconomic influence. Bitcoin crashes, and now it's $100-some thousand. The dollar has crashed, and it's worth less than it was before. How would you rate the dollar crash recovery versus the Bitcoin crash recovery? And again, my question is, why are we acting as if speculative assets don't crash? The reason why speculative assets crash is because of the people that invest in them, right? Now, gold has crashed before. The dollar has never suddenly doubled in value. If the dollar is constantly depreciating, how can it double? How does a negative number double? Can you explain that to me? So if the dollar is decreasing in value at, let's say, negative 1% per year, how does it double? How does that happen? First, it would have to get above a negative return rate for it to double, right? Because a negative number is not going to double. A negative number doubles negatively. So what is the situation that creates a dollar doubling? Now, Bitcoin has positively doubled multiple times. Now, here's the question. Is Bitcoin currently at 50% of its rate? And has Bitcoin ever remained at half of its rate? No, that's never happened in history, right? So again, what's interesting about this is that Bitcoin actually moves on a predictable pattern, even with all of the things that you're talking about. The crashes are predictable. The price action are predictable. The dips are predictable, right? Which, again, if we're talking about these things and we're talking about the predictability of these things, now we have to go back and question, well, is it really volatile or not? Because if it was volatile, these things would be unpredictable. Let me ask you this question. How many people predicted the dollar crashes? Did they predict the Great Depression? Did they predict the Latin American economic crisis? Did they predict the Asian economic crisis? Who predicted any of that? So if predictability is an indicator of volatility, if you can predict how Bitcoin moves, which it's been proven people can predict how Bitcoin moves, is it actually volatile? And again, aside from the question of is it actually volatile, what's the beta coefficient? None of the comments that you're putting into the comment section are supporting your premise of, I don't even know what your premise is. What is your premise? Now, you said a couple things that were misinformation. You said that crypto has no intrinsic value. That's not true. You literally get a physical piece of the network with whichever cryptocurrency that you buy. And people like you are lumping every single cryptocurrency into one big cryptocurrency as if they all don't have separate protocols and things that you get with the token. With some, you get influence on network governance. With some, you actually get a piece of the network. With others, you might get a piece of a staking protocol and be able to get passive income on that crypto that you own. But you're comfortable just saying mis and disinformation. And you're also comfortable with non-economic model based comparisons of Bitcoin versus fiat currency. There's nowhere in life that any of those type of arguments with the lack of validity and fact behind them, there's nowhere in the world where any of that would fly except for somewhere like YouTube or when you're talking about Bitcoin. Shout out to AW1. Shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure said, I wish me and my wet noodle knew how to predict Bitcoin volatility. Well, that's the first problem that you have, is that you're wishing. The first step that you might want to do is read the white paper. So stop rubbing on a genie bottle, expecting a genie to pop out and expecting your wet noodle to actually stand up, and get your blood pressure together. Stop being lazy, read the white paper, and then pay attention to how some people have financially engineered the volatility of Bitcoin to raise the value of their companies. Because despite the fact that you seem to have a disconnect with understanding how people are doing it, people are raising the value of their companies every day doing it. Shout out to AW1. AW1 says, congratulations on the $200 dono. That, bro, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to AW1. AW1 said, you're going to eat good tonight. I'm going to feed the liquidity. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to feed the liquidity. So Elon Musk and President Trump's meme coin advocacy, right? As for Elon Musk, while he has been a longtime advocate for the largest meme coin, Doge, now Doge is a cryptocurrency that literally has no intrinsic value, and it says it right. It says it right in the white paper. Just like Shiba, just like Pepe, any of those. We have no intrinsic value. It says it right there. Shout out to AB. Impossible. Impossible. You can't do that with low blood pressure. No blood flows to the area, so you know what I'm saying? You can't get it to a consistency where that would even happen. You know what I'm saying? That's impossible. You know what I'm saying? Now you're talking about wishing for stuff. You need to wish upon a star so that can happen. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Catsy. Catsy said, I look at it this way. Bitcoin is like my 401k. I put money into it and leave it alone and do what it does. It will go up and down like everything else. And again, if you're not lazy and you study the market and you pay attention to the patterns like some people do, right? Because clearly there's a pattern. You can calculate these things. I wish I knew the pattern. Well, here's the pattern. You try to keep your average buying cost as low as possible. Low blood pressure got me dead. Low blood pressure said, I can't read the white paper. It's racist. White supremacy. You one of them people that ask, how come it ain't a black paper? My question is, how would you read the ink? You know what I'm saying? How would you read the ink? Oh, Rob, you over there cooning because you said the paper shouldn't be black. I don't know what to say. If it makes you feel better, the important part of the paper is black because it's ink and that's what you read. Did that make you feel better? Everybody can throw their fists in the air and we can move on. You know what I'm saying? The black ink is beautiful. Can we move on? Some people going to say the paper swirling. You know what I'm saying? The black paper, you know what I'm saying? The black ink on the white paper, I don't get down with that. Umar Johnson will have a problem with it. I don't know. I don't know anymore. You know what I'm saying? I don't know anymore. People ain't messing with the Bitcoin paper because it's swirling. It's black ink on white paper, and you know what I'm saying? You can't be pro-black if you got black ink on white paper. I don't know. Me personally, I just want the money. Give me the money. That's what that girl from the Young Turk said. Give me the money. I'm with that. Give me the money. Shout out to my man Frozen. Frozen said Umar Johnson in the Snow Bunny crisis. That's hilarious. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to low blood pressure. Low blood pressure said, I've never had my genitals so glorified. Thank you for the recognition. I didn't know that they were being glorified. I didn't know that. I thought we just talked about symptoms of low blood pressure. But I mean, if you look at that as glorification, I feel sorry for you that you've had such a, I guess you would say, dry life. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say, bro. But what I am interested in is I'm interested in your rebuttals to my takedown of your argument about Bitcoin. Because again, I don't even know what you're arguing as far as Bitcoin goes. I don't know what you're arguing. You're saying that it shouldn't be a strategic and part of a strategic reserve because it's a speculative asset. My argument to that would be how many 401ks and IRAs are built on non-speculative assets. And here's another question, like, what is a non-speculative asset? All assets speculate on something. Even the dollar itself is a speculative asset, but you don't like the dollar. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you like. What you like, gold? Well, here's a speculation of gold. There might be some supply of gold that we don't know about, and then gold becomes abundant. Or some type of asteroid might hit the planet, and that asteroid is full of gold, because I don't know if you're aware, but there's a lot of asteroids that are full of gold. So then there becomes an increase in the supply, and what does that do to the price? It drops. That's speculation that could occur because it's something that's possible that could negatively affect the price, right? So my question would be, again, I don't disagree with your critiques. I wouldn't even call them critiques. I wouldn't agree with your assessment of Bitcoin characteristics. But my question is, how do you justify those characteristics as being disqualifiers? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brooklyn Quick. Brooklyn Quick said, Lord, Lord have mercy. Shout out to Frozen. Frozen said mineral mining potentially changing the game. Facts. Listen, I'm going to tell you, shout out to you, bro. I'm going to tell you what else is changing the game. Bitcoin DeFi staking is going to change the game. Bitcoin DeFi staking is going to significantly change the game. Now, I want to, and again, I actually think that this is a good conversation that Low Blood Pressure brought up, right? You know, I'm just messing with him about his name and just, you know, talking mess or whatever. But I actually appreciate the pushback, right? Because I think it's good. I think people need to talk about these kind of things. And they need to, you know, actually hear how some of these things sound and then rationalize it. I think that that's extremely important. You know what I'm saying? Now, my question would be, why don't people look at it the way that it is, right? When it comes to stock ownership, if you are a stockholder of a company, you own part of the company and you get a vote and you get influence over the direction of the company. Isn't that true? If you own particular cryptocurrencies, you get a part of network governance and you own a part of the network. So it's very similar. It's not the exact same thing, but it's very similar. So my thing is, I don't understand how people can't make the connection from cryptocurrency to stock. Shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure said Bitcoin only value is when used as Bitcoin. Explain that. How does that work? And what else do you use anything for? I mean, dollar's value is only when used as a dollar. If I wanted to use a dollar as a bumper on a car, I couldn't do it because I could only use it as a dollar. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Make sure you guys show AB Promotions some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for my man AB Promotions, funding the organization. Hashtag 20. You know what I'm saying? Hashtag the Elite 20. AB Promotion says 20 people in the chat. Big up to all my haters, bro. Facts. Big up to that. Big up to the haters. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to you, bro. Make sure y'all show my man AB some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for AB. And remember, shout out to y'all for hitting that goal. So we on the double drops.
In Springfield,
Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. Eat the cat, eat the cat. They're eating the cats, they're eating the dogs. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
You guys ready for finish him? First and foremost, the CME has determined that Bitcoin is a commodity, right? So you just killed your own argument because the governing body has decided that Bitcoin is a commodity. So based on your idea of what a Bitcoin, of what a strategic reserve should be, based on legislation, Bitcoin absolutely qualifies to be a commodity based on your criteria that you put there. Right? Second of all, are we saying that commodities have no volatility? There's no risk associated with commodities? Are we saying that commodities are not speculative assets? So you just this right here, you just put the nail in your own coffin. And now I'm just going to sit here and stare at the computer screen like I'm staring at you, waiting for you to say something. You know what I'm saying? So, speaking of Doge, right? We're going to come back to this. We got a lot of stuff to do, man. That Saturday show is probably going to, I don't know if I even have time to make it as long as it needs to be, but it's going to be long as hell. Because it's a lot of stuff that we got to catch up on, and stuff just keeps piling up. Stuff just keeps piling up. Grayscale launches Dogecoin Trust, calling meme coin tool for global financial inclusion. All the people that made fun of Dogecoin and said that Dogecoin wouldn't go nowhere, people have more vision for Dogecoin than the original Dogecoin OG creators. Grayscale, who is not a joke, is going to make a Dogecoin trust. Grayscale Investments has launched a Dogecoin trust. The company said Dogecoin has transitioned from a meme coin of a Shiba Inu to a tool for global financial inclusion. Okay. Now, I want to ask you guys this question. How did that happen? How did that happen? I'm going to tell you exactly how it happened. The Dogecoin community made Dogecoin great. That's how it happened. That's how it happened. If you ask me, Dogecoin and Bitcoin for the most part, right? Because let's just keep it a buck. Dogecoin is the Bitcoin of meme coins. Would you guys, if you guys would agree, give me a thumbs up. If you guys would disagree, give me a thumbs down. Dogecoin is the Bitcoin of meme coins. And shout out to everybody watching. Shout out to AB Promotions. AB Promotions and John Guillory like to hear stuff like this. We had 3 people unsubscribe. A third person unsubscribed. The broke mob. You know what I'm saying? The broke mob. You know what I'm saying? Crypto asset manager Grayscale Investments has launched the Dogecoin Trust, giving individual and institutional accredited investors exposure to the Doge meme coin in a shared-based format. Listen, I'm going to tell you guys something. Just wait. They have no idea what's coming. They have no idea what's coming. Wait until these asset managers start calculating the growth and the potential revenues of the meme coins. You are going to see so many diversified meme coin trusts and so many diversified meme coin ETFs. Is going to blow your mind. Just wait until they come with the Pepe, Shiba, and Dogecoin diversified ETF, because those are coming. They're on the way. They're coming. Not here yet, but they're on the way. Why would you not make a financial product like that? Just imagine when those things begin to be popularized. What's that going to do to the value of these cryptos? What's this kind of thing going to do to the value of Dogecoin? Grayscale believes Doge has transitioned from a meme coin of a Shiba Inu to a tool for global financial inclusion, grassroots activism, and a viable mean of payment, the company said on Friday. Due to its widespread accessibility, affordability, rapid transaction speed, Doge has garnered significant adoption worldwide. And I would agree with this. Doge is the largest meme coin and the 8th largest cryptocurrency, with a market capitalization of $50 billion, according to the block's prices page. And as much as people talk crazy about Doge and people, I don't know how Doge is going to be. Listen, man, none of that stuff matters. Dogecoin has done. Wallet is probably always a better choice than an exchange, right? So now here it said created in 2013 as a joke. This was a joke. It turned into a $50 billion joke. Doge is the native cryptocurrency of the Dogecoin network, originally forked from Litecoin, a Bitcoin derivative. All right. So Dogecoin is a fork of a fork of a fork. And I'm not surprised that Dogecoin is a Bitcoin derivative, because like I said, Dogecoin is the Bitcoin of meme coins. It's a lot of value in Dogecoin, if you ask me. Grayscale's Dogecoin Trust launch comes amid renewed momentum for Doge following the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency under U.S. President Donald Trump, led by Tesla CEO and longtime Doge supporter Elon Musk. And again, they keep giving Trump and Elon Musk all this credit for all these things. That I don't agree with this. Dogecoin has just been consistently solid since it was first formed. And it's got a community that really backs it. They really believe in it. They did what they wanted to do at first and pushed it to a penny. Now it's, you know what I'm saying, hovering in 30 cents. The all-time high for Doge has been, I want to say, about 70 cents. You know what I mean? Like Doge to me Doge has stood and proven all the test of time. Shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure says, I believe there is a dollar crash and economic collapse around the corner. I do not believe crypto's current price or value will make it to the other side. Now, again, based on what? Because you shouldn't say that you believe, because the belief of this is not based on any existing fact. So you should say you feel crypto won't make it to the other side. I would say that evidence would show that crypto would make it to the other side because crypto has never had a crash as significant as any dollar. There's been multiple dollar and multiple fiat currency crashes. Actual crashes, like how people say that Bitcoin is going to zero, where dollars have actually went to zero. We can list multiple countries where dollars or their fiat currencies have actually gone to zero. They've actually gone to zero. What cryptocurrency has gone to zero? Now, we mentioned crashes, right? Now, the crashes that you talk about, they could be multi-cycle corrections, right? There's a difference between corrections and crashing to zero. That crash to zero thing that everybody says Bitcoin is going to do, many fiat currencies around the world have actually done that multiple times over. Where's the evidence of Bitcoin crashing to zero? Where's it at? Bitcoin crashed to $20,000. A crash to $20,000? I don't think any other currency or anything has ever crashed to $20,000. Also, here's another fun fact about cryptocurrency. All Bitcoins currently minted are all profitable. They all are in the profit. No Bitcoin in existence is at a loss. Can you say that about the dollar? So what would the significance of a crash be on those currencies? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John. Make sure y'all show John some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat. For John, I appreciate you, bro. John, talking about them the 3 people that unsubscribed and hooked your boy up with a member. Definitely hooked your boy up with a member. I appreciate it, bro. Make sure y'all show John some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for John for funding the organization and for standing on business.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
And I also want to show you something about your valuation model, low blood pressure. Pay very close attention to this. I want you to pay very close attention to this, right? Get your ears open and make sure you do something to get that blood flowing. You know what I'm saying? Start moving around because you know you can't pump it through your veins on your own because you got low blood pressure. Listen, I want you to pay attention to your valuation model, right? This is your valuation model. You came into my chat and you devalued my channel. You devalued my channel because you said that there was only 14 people watching. Now, I want you to go to a channel that has about 100 people watching, right? And we're talking about monetary value, right? So let's do numerator over denominator, right? So if there's a channel with 100 people watching and they've only gotten $50 in super chat, how many dollars per person in the chat is that channel worth? Now, if my channel only has 13 people watching and my dollar numerator looks like this, what's the value of my channel? What's the value of my channel? So based on how you value anything, I would say your valuation methods are inherently flawed, as I've just proven. Because clearly, if I have a lower number of people in my chat and I have a higher number of super chats, the value that I'm being paid per participant in my chat is higher than that person that has $100 or 100 people in their chat and only got $25 in super chat, right? But you see the value being not in the nominal part, not in the dollar part, but in the nominal part. Your channel is worthless because you only got 17 people. Well, technically not worthless. Technically not worthless. Technically about a couple $100 this stream, right? Technically, right? but the couple $100 isn't significant to you. So what I'm saying is that based on your value system of how you value things and how you demonstrated to us that is indeed your value system, because that's what you came in here with, you don't value assets properly. You don't use available data. You don't use available math. You only use feeling. I feel that people don't have a lot of people in their chat. Their channel is worthless, despite the fact that we're looking at the worth right here. Here's the worth. Here's the worth. You see? There's the worth. Now, what's the worth? Add it up. Can you add? Add it up. I'm just saying. So how can you trust an opinion on somebody valuing things when they've demonstrated evidence that they don't use proper valuation models in a simple situation? Which is what you've demonstrated. Somebody explain that to me. Shout out to Karen. Make sure you guys show Karen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emoji, and some ducks in the chat for Karen. All right, for funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you, Karen. And she bought y'all lunch. And we over the goal, so it's double drops.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
In Springfield, they're eating the...
She was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat. Got paid back. Thought she was a goner, but the cat came back. If you ain't a pussy cat, say drop that cat. Drop that cat. Drop that cat.
They're eating the dogs. They're eating the cats. Eat the cat.
Drop that cat.
Shout out to Karen. Definitely appreciate you, Karen. Make sure y'all show Karen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Karen. Shout out to my man, John Guillory, for growing the organization and funding the organization. Definitely appreciate you, bro.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Shout out to Katsy. Make sure y'all show Katsy some love. You see that? 22 months of support. Shout out to Katsy. I definitely appreciate you, Katsy. Make sure y'all show Katsy some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat for Katsy for funding the organization and standing on business.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the march of dimes.
I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business. I'm standing on business.
Definitely appreciate it. And shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure said you ignored my last post. No, I didn't ignore my last post. I was just actually valuing value, unlike what you have done since you've been in here. But Low Blood Pressure said you ignored my last post. Well, technically, I really shouldn't entertain your post because you're not paying. All right. I mean, technically, I shouldn't do that. Right. However, you know what I'm saying? You got some decent and adequate pushback. And for the most part, you know what I'm saying? You've been pretty cool about it. So, you know what I'm saying? I'll play. Now, you say that crypto is a Ponzi scheme. Crypto doesn't fit any definition of a Ponzi scheme. Give me the definition of a Ponzi scheme. This is ridiculous and redundant that we have to do this so many times. And it actually takes away from, you know what I'm saying, the fact that I actually have a time constraint in getting stuff done that I want to get done. But like the basic stuff, man, like we got to get past the 1 + 1. You know what I'm saying? Like we in calculus class and you know what I'm saying? You want tips on factoring. We can't do this. You know what I'm saying? Like this is ridiculous, but it is what it is. Like I said, we'll play, right? Because, you know, why not? There's people in here who, you know what I'm saying, probably want to know some of this stuff. So let's look up the definition of Ponzi scheme, which is ridiculous. Right? So here's the definition of Ponzi scheme. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Everybody in the chat should put in a definition of Ponzi scheme. What's a Ponzi scheme? And I am going to sound bad saying this. I'm going to sound bad saying this, but it has to be said. There's a minority of people who are really smart, and there's a majority of people who unfortunately are not very smart. And a lot of times what you have is you'll have, when you see this all the time, and we don't need to be specific with it, right? But people will hear a new word and it'll make them feel really good, or they'll find out about a new concept and it'll make them feel really good. And because they're so information and intelligence starved, once they hear about this new concept or this new word, they have to just completely repeat it and 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 repeat it. Just like a little kid that just found out about a new toy. You know what I'm saying? They just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Even if the repetition of it has no value, they just repeat it and repeat it and repeat it. Ponzi scheme. Definition, examples, and origins, right? What is a Ponzi scheme? A Ponzi scheme is an investment scam that pays early investors with money taken from later investors to create an illusion of big profits, as a Ponzi scheme promises a high rate of return with little risk to the investor. Now, I need you to show me where Bitcoin has ever promised any return to anyone. Because all of these criteria have to be satisfied for this to be a Ponzi scheme, right? What I need is I need you to show me where the Bitcoin entity itself has promised any return to anyone and has also promised zero risk to anyone. This is what a Ponzi scheme is. You said that Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. You should have it readily available. Place it in the chat for me, please. Here's another question. Who's paying Bitcoin profits? Who's writing people Bitcoin profit checks? Shout out to DC Precise. DC Precise said, "Whoa, did you say TCU?" Nah. Honestly, nah. Because first of all, low blood pressure been cool, and for the most part, he's offering actually healthy healthy critique that, in my opinion, a lot of people that actually are Bitcoin advocates and people that invest in Bitcoin are not equipped to rebuttal. I see a lot of people that claim to be cryptocurrency advocates fail when people come with these type of critiques or these type of questions. And there's nothing wrong with questioning it, right? Like, Bitcoin's not absolute. It's not something that's outside of the realms of critique or being questioned. My thing is that it just should be accurate critiques. I think one critique about Bitcoin is that you can't liquid stake it. You know what I'm saying? It's not enough, passive investment models around Bitcoin, and Bitcoin is the highest priced cryptocurrency. Like, to me, that's really weird. They need to upgrade the network on Bitcoin so that you can stake it. It might not be a bad idea to change Bitcoin to proof of stake. You know what I'm saying? Those critiques that I have, right? Bitcoin's not, it doesn't matter what you feel. Here's the definition, and Bitcoin doesn't satisfy it. Now what? Nigga, fuck you. That's how that shit go. And then when somebody says, well, somebody didn't have to say fuck you. Well, we quote unquote, we debate aggressively. I wouldn't say that we debate aggressively. I wouldn't say that. I would call that something else. Disrespectfully. You know what I'm saying? So here, how does Bitcoin satisfy this definition? Now let's go further, right? A Ponzi scheme is similar to a pyramid scheme in that both use new investors' funds to pay for earlier backers. A pyramid. Now, here's the thing, right? All Bitcoin are currently paid for because they're all profitable. So that's another way that this gets completely destroyed. There's nothing to pay anybody because all Bitcoins currently in circulation are all profitable. Shout out to Karen. Karen said, I hear crickets. Facts. So how is it a Ponzi scheme? Shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure said, I did learn something. I'm willing to learn. I appreciate that. And like I said, I don't have a problem with your critiques. I think that your critiques are valid. They're the common critiques that people say all the time. You know what I'm saying? And, especially as far as being a speculative asset, I wouldn't disagree. But my thing would be, it goes from, that's not necessarily a Bitcoin discussion, right? A speculative asset discussion would be, are speculative assets appropriate for strategic reserves? I don't think that would necessarily be a question specifically that Bitcoin has to bear the burden of. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't like I said, I appreciate the pushback, and honestly, I don't have a problem with your pushback because I think that your pushback is legit. I you know what I'm saying? Like I don't have not one problem with your pushback. You know what I'm saying? You and on top of it, you've been cool. You know what I'm saying? You give it and you take it, and I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't got no problem. That's why the people like I don't think that low blood pressure needs to be gotten rid of. I think that low blood pressure is presenting an opportunity to address particular critiques of Bitcoin that in many cases, a lot of people that even consider themselves cryptocurrency advocates or Bitcoin investors can't really address because, you know what I'm saying, either they lack the experience or they lack the knowledge base. You know what I'm saying? So, again, I actually appreciate you being here. I don't have a problem with none of what you're saying at all. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DSA. What's good with it, bro? But again, based on the definition, I disagree that Bitcoin classifies as a Ponzi scheme. Now, when I say Bitcoin doesn't classify as a Ponzi scheme, I want to make this clear. That doesn't mean that it's possible that other coins cannot classify as a Ponzi scheme, because many cryptocurrencies absolutely classify as a Ponzi scheme. Many cryptocurrencies absolutely can be scams. I'm specifically talking about Bitcoin. I'm specifically talking about other cryptocurrencies that, I know and that I support, based on not fitting the criteria of a Ponzi scheme. However, does that mean that there's some cryptocurrencies that can be maliciously used? Absolutely. Can pump.fund be maliciously used? Absolutely. Absolutely. Cryptocurrency is like anything else. We have to make sure that it doesn't get in the hands of evil, which is too late. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, right? So I think what happens is, like, a lot of times when people advocate for Bitcoin, the Bitcoin advocacy becomes, this person thinks that there's no flaws with cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency is just completely perfect. I don't think that there's anybody out there that will say that cryptocurrency is completely perfect. Even people that support Bitcoin and people that invest in other cryptocurrencies. The majority. Well, I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? And again, I would encourage you, I'm glad that you like my definition and my explanation, but continue to do your own research as well. Right? Continue to do your own research as well, because I'm not an end all be all crypto wizard, you know what I'm saying, or investment wizard or anything like that. But I do try to keep it based on facts. I try to, these things are a lot of them are speculation. So it doesn't help to try to validate things that are already speculative with more speculation. The way to take some of the speculation out is to use what's known, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't speculate on some things. I would try to use what's known. And if I don't know about this. This is speculatory. I'll be the first person to admit it. This is speculatory. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kareem. What's good with you, bro? Yeah, facts. Shout out to John Guillory. Hawk Tua coin, a Ponzi scheme. Facts. Now, there's certain ways. Now, low blood pressure. Do you remember when you said, I wish that I could figure out Bitcoin's volatility pattern, right? There is an estimate that you can use to figure out Bitcoin's volatility pattern, and it moves on a 4-year, 8-year basis, right? There's that. So I just want to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? If you listen to a lot of the Michael Saylor podcast, he talks about how he read the white paper and actually utilized the 21 million coins and the halving and all of that to make these calculations, right? And then he applied that to what's called a CAPM, capital asset pricing model, for his business to create the financial products that he issues against the interest-free money that he generates from his shareholders to buy Bitcoin with, right? There's that, right? Then the other thing is there's what they call tokenomics, right? If somebody comes out with a brand new coin and this coin has a $50 million market cap and there's 10 million coins available and there's 50 million that haven't been released, that's a bad sign. That's a bad sign. I would advise people to be very cautious if the amount of coins not released is more than the amount of coins that has been released. That is almost imminent for a rug pull almost all the time. That's almost always an indicator for a rug pull. So if a token has a 10 million token circulating supply and there's 70 million that haven't been released, those haven't been released in most cases because that person is waiting for that token to spike up really high, and then they're going to release all those tokens into the market. They're going to get all that market cap off of those tokens that they put into the market, and that big release of all those tokens is going to tank the price, and they're going to be out. So there's certain indicators that you can kind of pay attention to and say, you know what, this got some warning signs to it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So my advice would be people should pay attention to the warning signs. As far as that whole rug pull goes, it would be kind of difficult for a Bitcoin rug pull. What would have to happen for a Bitcoin rug pull would be that all of the large holding wallets would all have to sell at the same time, and it would tank the price. But even if they sold it and they tanked the price, you still have the value that the amount of Bitcoin is fixed. You know what I'm saying? Even if they tank the price down to $20,000, the amount of Bitcoin is fixed. So as people buy up those Bitcoin that just been released into the market, it might take a minute, but it's gonna eventually regain its value once those Bitcoin are bought up again, which they will get bought up again, at least in the current environment where people are actually using Bitcoin as a store of value. But because people know the value of Bitcoin, in most cases, those people are not going to manipulate the market like that because it could be disastrous for them not being able to get them Bitcoin back. So it's kind of like a self-check mechanism that's kind of implemented. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I don't think that there's a problem with people critiquing Bitcoin, or I don't think that there's a problem with people asking questions, as long as the questions are addressed in a very thorough and factual way. And the thing is, too, a lot of people, you got to be careful, too, like, because a lot of Bitcoin maximists and a lot of people that's cryptocurrency advocates, they will say something is a fact that's not necessarily a fact in defense of Bitcoin because they're biased toward Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I'm biased toward Bitcoin as far as my preference on cryptocurrency and buying cryptocurrency. But as far as a presentation goes, I'm going to attempt to accurately represent the flaws in Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? Because there are flaws in Bitcoin. It's flawed. It's not perfect. All these people that go around and say cryptocurrency is Bitcoin is a perfect asset. It's not a perfect asset. There's no such thing as nothing is perfect. You know what I'm saying? It's an asset that operates in a more efficient way than the human valuation system goes. That doesn't necessarily imply that it's perfect. What is perfect? Has anybody ever seen perfect? I don't even know if there's an example of perfect that exists other than numerically represented in particular situations. And then even the numerical representation of perfect is only perfect by definition that somebody came up with, not necessarily a universal standard of what quote unquote perfection is. I don't know what perfect is. What is perfect? What's perfect? You know what I'm saying? They say, oh, crypto is a perfect asset. Bitcoin is a perfect asset. I don't know what a perfect asset is. If you ask me, so if we create man-made criteria or criteria that's defined by man, what is a perfect asset? If you ask me, the only perfect asset that there would be is life or time. Those are the only two perfect assets. And then possibly after that, possibly Bitcoin. Life, and which life is a derivative of time, right? Life and time would be the only perfect assets. That's it. As far as Bitcoin being a perfect asset, I can't say if Bitcoin is a perfect asset because I can't tell you what perfect is. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Low Blood Pressure. Low Blood Pressure says, I thought Bitcoin price is based solely on demand. What do you think? I think that there's several factors that contribute to the Bitcoin price. Demand being one of them, right? The demand would also be a derivative of how many are available. Then there's other things like how much money is being put into it. Then there's other things like what it's being utilized for. All of these ETFs that people are making, micro strategies coming up with a new Bitcoin financial product every day. You know what I'm saying? Transaction fees on the network. All these different things contribute to the price. So, and a lot of those things are indeed a derivative of demand, right? But demand is so diversified, I think it doesn't do justice to say Bitcoin price is based solely on demand. I think that demand has to be divided and categorized so people can see exactly the weighted average of where the demand is coming from and what part of the demand has the highest influence on the valuation. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to John Guillory. John Guillory said, I know what's perfect. The best song about being about it being petty. You know what I'm saying? Facts. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Kareem. Kareem says Bitcoin volatility makes it imperfect. I don't know if I can say that. I don't know if I agree with that. People invest in Bitcoin, in my opinion, specifically for the volatility. The volatility is what creates the astronomical returns. Now, right? People are looking towards investments for returns. Bitcoin would not be able to create astronomical returns without the type of volatility that it has. Now, and again, if you ask me, right, to me, right, it's not necessarily a fact that Bitcoin is actually volatile. To me, the fact is that the majority of people have either just ignored the pattern or they haven't invested according to the pattern. Again, volatility is based on predictability. Why is it that every year there's predictions that are accurate about where the Bitcoin price is going? If Bitcoin was volatile, all price predictions would be incorrect. But they're not. Which means that there's an element of control. There's an element of predictability. If there's an element of predictability, how can we say that it's volatile, right? So I wouldn't classify volatility as an investment flaw. You know what I'm saying? Wow. Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, some ducks in the chat. Brooklyn Queen said there is a Ponzio the cat, and which is I don't know if that name is kind of interesting. Sounds a lot like Ponzi scheme, right? Take off the O. The Ponzio the cat coin that's worth 28. I don't even know what is that. 28,544,923,463.24. I read on the site that the buy-in is $1 million a coin. Yeah, I'm good on that. That's a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? That's a little bit too much. That's like paying used car prices for a phone. And people with them iPhones, I'd just be using mine until that bad boy don't work no more because that's a little bit too much. I'm not paying no monthly payment on no phone. Paying the phone bill is enough. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brooklyn Queen. Make sure y'all show Brooklyn Queen some love. Throw some flames, some radiation emojis, and some ducks in the chat for Brooklyn Queen for funding the organization and for being a mod extraordinaire.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Cash rules everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
around. I'm rich, biatch.
How do you think that we fund this organization, huh? We're not exactly the March of Dimes.
Shout out to John. John said, I think volatility is what makes Bitcoin great and is more perfect than imperfect. And really everything is volatile. And Bitcoin is stable as a financial black hole. Yeah. Now, check this out, right? Listen, if we can predict that Bitcoin is volatile, is that a predictable factor? This is what I'm saying. Like, how do you break this stuff down? Now, if we expect a particular asset to be stable and that asset turns out to be unpredictable, and we expect an unpredictable asset to be unpredictable, if an unpredictable asset has an expectation of unpredictable and remains unpredictable, is that a prediction? You know what I'm saying? Like that's actually a form of stability. I'm going into buying Bitcoin knowing that Bitcoin is volatile. I'm buying for the volatility. The actual unpredictability would be if you bought Bitcoin going in for volatility and then the price stayed flat for the next 5 years. That's what Bitcoin volatility would look like. Bitcoin volatility is flat price action. I'm buying Bitcoin because I'm expecting volatility. Then it just stays $100,000 for the next 10 years. That's actually Bitcoin volatility. Bitcoin stability is volatility. You know what I'm saying? But people don't like, I don't know. It's like people can't grasp that concept. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying Bitcoin looking for what a bond does. If I wanted what a bond does, I would buy a bond. Right? People buy bonds for stability. Who's buying Bitcoin for stability? Who's actually doing that? The only people that are buying Bitcoin for stability is people who are buying Bitcoin for Bitcoin stability. I'm buying Bitcoin for the volatility that other people see in Bitcoin, which is not actually volatility. It cycles on a 4-year basis. It's not volatility to me. I know what's going to happen with Bitcoin. You know what I'm saying? It's volatility for everybody else because of the chart art that it creates. Oh my God, look at all these candles and look at all this. Look at all. I don't care about none of that. I know what Bitcoin's going to do. I know about the halving. I know how the halving is going to affect the price. You know what I'm saying? I know about the market caps that Bitcoin is coming after. I expect Bitcoin to take deep dives. I'm prepared for that, right? And I'm also prepared based on the historical charts that when Bitcoin takes a deep dive, it might be a 2, 3, 4 year period. And then Bitcoin is going to rise 2 times above the dip that it just took. That's not volatility for me. All that is a waiting period. I'm putting this money in layaway for 4 years. I'm looking for what's going to happen after the 4 years. Now, what happens in between the 4 years could be anything. A bomb could go off. You know what I'm saying? A bridge could fall down. I don't care about none of that. All I know is after all that's said and done, the value is going to be up here. That's what the historical pattern of Bitcoin is, which means that it's predictable. If you actually do what you're supposed to do with Bitcoin and hold it, you eliminate short-term volatility. Bitcoin, if you ask me, Bitcoin has self-custodial volatility. You only are subject to volatility if you put yourself in a risky situation, and you introduce risk with Bitcoin when you sell it. If you hold the Bitcoin, your number of Bitcoin doesn't go up and down, and you eliminate the volatility because you're not going to deal with price risks. You're holding it. You know what I'm saying? You've eliminated the risk. This is why Michael Saylor says, quote unquote, Bitcoin can be looked at as a risk-free asset. I mean, there's not any governing organization of any type of equities or any type of investment authority that would agree with that. Rightfully so, right? Rightfully so. But Michael Saylor is not incorrect in that regard. And this is stuff that it can be proven. You can look at old charts and see the patterns. So what it is that there's like a comprehension disconnect on how Bitcoin works. which is wild because Bitcoin works in 4-year cycles and literally everything on the planet works in 4-year cycles. But for some reason, people just can't grasp that. Presidential elections happen in 4-year cycles. Leap year happens in 4-year cycles. For the most part, everything happens in 4-year cycles. But for some reason, people can't understand that Bitcoin should be measured on a 4-year cycle. If you ask me, I don't even know why people even look at like charts of Bitcoin on a daily basis unless you're a day trader. Why are you even looking at daily charts and why are you looking at short-term charts if you're a Bitcoin holder? I don't even understand that. What's the purpose of it? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? If you're a long-term Bitcoin holder, why are you looking at a 24-hour chart? What do you plan on doing with your Bitcoin? The idea, if you're holding, is to get a particular amount of Bitcoin. The idea is to get 0.01 Bitcoin. The idea is to get 0.1 Bitcoin. The idea is to get 1 Bitcoin. The idea is to get 10 Bitcoin. The idea is to get 100 Bitcoin. That number is not going to change unless you change it by selling it. And you know what that number is. So why are you looking at a chart? If you're measuring everything up against Bitcoin, your Bitcoin's not going to change. Only stuff is only going to change against your Bitcoin. And you're holding it. So after you buy Bitcoin, I mean, if you're truly holding, you really don't have a necessity to look at the chart until after the first 4 years. Why would you do it? You know what I'm saying? But this is what people do. And then they create their own situation. Now, again, if you're day trading or you're doing short term, 21 day, holding or whatever, you know what I'm saying, futures, derivatives or whatever, that's a different story, right? That's a different story. That makes sense. But if you're holding, keyword being holding, that doesn't make sense for you. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know why people, it's just odd to me. And again, shout out to low blood pressure. Low blood pressure said he had to go, but that's the reason. Like, to me, like I didn't have a problem with the questions that low blood pressure was asking, because again, I think people ask these questions all the time, and I see people stumble through these kind of questions. Like, it's like how you stumble through this basic elementary shit. This is elementary level shit. How you stumbling through this shit? You claim to be investing in cryptocurrency, you know what I'm saying, forever, but you don't understand this basic shit. You can't deal with these basic questions. Fuck wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody that came through. All right, man, we destroyed the goal, man. Put some tombstones in the chat. Do they got a tombstone emoji? Put some tombstones in the chat, or put some skulls in the chat, because we demolished the goal. All right, shout out to everybody that contributed. Y'all already know, without the streams or without the stream sponsors, ain't no stream. You know what I'm saying? Y'all done fed the liquidity, man. I appreciate y'all. All right, make sure y'all show these people some love. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show AB Promotions some love. Shout out to my man John Guillory. I appreciate you, bro. Make sure y'all show John Guillory some love. Shout out to Katsy. Make sure you guys show Katsy some love. Shout out to the you know what I'm saying, to the majority owner. You know what I'm saying? DSB. Make sure y'all show DSB some love. Shout out to my man John Guillory on the again side. Make sure y'all show him some love again. Shout out to DSB on the super again side. Again! DSB said,
Tie this bitch up!
Swing the remix god!
I'll tie this bitch up! Tie this bitch up! I will! Tie this bitch up! I will! Tie this bitch up! I'll tie this bitch up!
DSB told his bitch up. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Black Free Thinker. Appreciate you, bro. Shout out to my man AB Promotions. Make sure y'all show AB Promotions some love on the again side. Again! Shout out to my man John Guillory on the again side. Again! Shout out to Karen Dorsey. Make sure y'all show Karen Dorsey some love. Shout out to my man John Guillory on the again side. Again! Shout out to Katsy on the again side.
Again!
And shout out to Brooklyn Queen on the again side again.
Again!
Oh, man. Make sure if you're not part of the Discord, you join the Discord. Make sure if you're not subscribed on Rumble or Twitch, you subscribe on Rumble and Twitch. All right. We will probably be back. I'm going to try to do another stream in the morning tomorrow and finish this up and try to do another stream tomorrow night at 12:55. And hopefully that'll be the call in. Hopefully. All right. And as always, ladies and gentlemen,